come to order, please. Notice requirements for the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied. Would you please turn off electronic equipment, telephones, etc., and we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Johanna, call the roll, please.
Mayor Becker?
Here.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Here.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Here.
As there are no listed items for discussion, we'll start with the department heads. Ed, why don't you start, please?
Okay, we'll start with the Washington Avenue, 1 South Washington. The contractor is in the building, has been in the building all week, doing punch list items, trying to clean up little things on the building. The outside names were installed, the letters, and I got an email today that the contractor who did that, it was not in his contract to remove the old letters, but he said he would do it for nothing. So I thought that was a good thing. The Gladstone Avenue water tank, we won't see anything happening on that till the spring of 2017. So it's in need of being done, but the weather does not permit it at this point, so that'll happen in spring. The Thai School storm sewer replacement, we're doing all the final paperwork on that. The contractor was made aware of a couple bird baths in the asphalt, so he will take care of that. 14 State Aid, which was Amherst Avenue, we reissued the punch list.
I have just a question on that. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you talk about bird baths.
Yes.
How do you cover that in the specs specifically about that they're required to do that, or is just a normal practice, or how
It's just it's in the specification, and it's also implicit in the construction industry that there should not be any bird baths. We design it so it drains. They have to install it so it drains. So, and generally, just so you know, the general rule of thumb is 24 hours. If water goes away within 24 hours, it's generally not considered a problem. However, something like this is very visible, and there's, if we have rain and then it freezes, it could be an issue. For 2014 State Aid, we reissued the punch list to Ferriazzi. There are several things that we're discussing at this point that he's not generally receptive to, but need to be done. As soon as that's complete, we can final the project and then put in for our last 25% of that grant. The South Jersey gas main installation, the Lantier portion of the contract, as everyone sees, the paving is going on all over their portion. They're doing a very good job. They should be done paving by the end of next week, if not the beginning of the following week. Kiley is moving a little slower, but they have a few more to do than Lantier, and I anticipate they'll be at least through December before they're done the services, which means the paving may not take place until spring.
I'm going to ask you to amplify that, even though some of us know the answer to it, for the benefit of the public, to see whether people in the public can help in their own neighborhoods by encouraging people, and you can speak to it, encouraging people that they know that haven't had hookups yet,
yes,
and explain the problem and that's going to delay our paving, so it affects all of us.
Part of the delay on Kiley's part is the inability to reach the residents and get them to, even the residents they have reached, get them to agree to a time where someone has to be present in the house or on the property in order for them to change the gas service, because they cannot cut off the gas service and turn it back on unless they have access to the property to make sure that the hot water heater's lit, any other pilot lights that need to be lit. and that everything's functioning. Not only do they light the pilots, they make sure that the heaters are functioning, they make sure the hot water heater's functioning. If it's a gas fireplace, they make sure that. If it's an old stove that has a pilot, they make sure that operates. So if anyone knows their neighbors have not had their service changed over yet, please encourage them to contact the gas company so that we can get them service, because right now there's approximately 100 services they have not been able to accomplish yet. So please. And then what's happening is that delay has now caused the service portion not to be completed, which then means the transfer and the abandonment of the old mains are not completed, which means the roads can't be repaved until that happens. And we're running into, within a month, maybe less, that the asphalt plants will be closed. So the paving is most likely not going to happen this winter for that portion of the project. It probably won't happen until sometime late March, early April, at best. Okay, and that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Ed. Frank?
This week, we put up the holiday lighting along Ventnor Avenue. We're waiting for a delivery for new holiday lighting for Jerome Avenue, which we expect in within the next week. We've been working on the beach, moving sand. Our beaches are still very healthy with sand. And we've been doing a lot of cleanups of city property. We winterized all the irrigation, and we're preparing our trucks for the winter months for snow. That's all I have.
Thank you, Frank. Before we go any further, just like to acknowledge this morning, Frank was awarded Public Works Director of the Year for the state of New Jersey, and it's well-deserved, and thank you all for all you do for Margate, Frank. And he had a name change this morning. It's now Frank Ricciotti. Chief?
He had that name in grade school, too. I have nothing to report today except all is good. Fire department, I appreciate it. We've been training on our new vehicles, and we're thankful.
Thank you. Lisa?
Two things I want to mention. We received notice from the JIF that they are releasing one of the closed year's funds, and for the Atlantic County JIF, they are releasing $2.5 million in dividends, of which Margate will be receiving $60,000. And they give all the members the option of applying that towards their following year's assessment, or receiving it in a check, or adding it to the loss contingency fund. It's kind of like a rainy day fund. It's my recommendation that it be applied to offset the budgeted amount next year. And so with your approval, I will notify them that that is our decision.
That's what we've always done in the past, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Just so you
I
know.
agree.
Okay, and
Good.
I'm sorry. The other thing I wanted to mention, and I apologize that I didn't mention it previously, but as you know, due to Hurricane Sandy, we had to declare an emergency, and we took out special emergency notes, which you have to pay down over 5 years. Next year is the last year to pay down, the remaining 1/5 portion of that. Our notes for this year come due mid-December, so we're going to roll it over, pay down 1/5, and then take out a new note for $750,000. I've been discussing it with our bond counsel, Joel Fleischman. He has prepared the notice of sale, which he's going to distribute on Monday. Bids will be received on December 1st, and we anticipate closing on the note on December 14th. And hopefully, the interest rates will remain relatively low. Last year's rate we got, I think, was 1.18%, from what I recall. So I will keep you advised as to the results of that. Also, a month or two ago, we authorized a refunding on some prior bonds that we have, and I just to get you up to date. The interest rates are not where we want them to be, and so our financial advisor is continuing to monitor the status, and will let us know if we're able to realize the savings and move forward. So I'll keep you informed as I get more information. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Chief?
Everything's great in the police department, as always.
Thank you. Rich?
I want to take this opportunity to thank Lisa and the department heads because our 2016 budget, operating budget, is in very good shape. There are some transfers which we're allowed to do after November 1st on the agenda tonight. They're minor in nature as it relates to the entire budget. I think it's about a little over 100,000 total. All of the transfers that are taking place are transfers within the department, one aspect of the department to the other, and that's a wonderful thing. It's different from what it was 5 years ago. Each department head is taking responsibility for the money that's within their own department, and if there's some problems within their own department, they take care of it by shifting money from one part of their department to another and not depend on Lisa to find money in somebody else's department. So I very much appreciate it. They've done a great job this year. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Rich. Johanna?
On today's agenda, we will be going to advertise for the beach vending license, and that will be held Tuesday, December 12th at 11 o'clock here. And that's all I have to report. Everything, the election went well. We didn't seem to have any problems this year.
Good.
And
Good job.
that's it.
Thank you, Johanna. Roger?
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Planning board meeting tonight at 7 o'clock. 4 items on the agenda, and also we're going, as part of the new business, our consultant for post-Sandy Phase 2 will give a brief introduction about the master plan and will be named on the forthcoming agendas in the future. I want to congratulate Frank for being named Public Works Director of the Year. I think that's fantastic. Margate does not go unnoticed in the state. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Marty, do you have anything?
Yeah, I do. I just have one thing for Johanna on 203-216. Should we amend that to say intention to bid, and then make sure that we advertise the date, right? Would that be better if it said, instead of authorizing receipt of bid, we would say authorizing intention to bid? And then just make sure that we publish the date so we don't get into any trouble.
It is normally handled this way. It leaves it open-ended. The advertising for bidding needs to be done 10 days prior to
Right.
the bid being received.
Okay.
So that's why it's never mentioned in the actual resolution.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Just like when Ed Wahlberg does his, they're authorizing to go out to bid.
Okay.
It's not specified in case something happens with the publication of the advertisement.
Okay. So this is, then that would be good. That's okay by me.
Have anything else, Mark?
No, good.
John? I'm good also. We will open up for public comment, 3 minutes.
Steve Waltman, 9003 Amherst Avenue, Margate. Regarding the streets that have not been paved because 100 or so homes have not gotten their gas connected, would it be possible to provide the list of 100 addresses to, say, the newspaper or some sort of ad in the Current so that the entire community would know which houses had not connected to the gas yet. I had a neighbor who lived out of town, and when they were paving Amherst Avenue between Union and Vendome, I made arrangements to be available to access with the gas company. Other people might be able to do that for their neighbors who are out of town if we knew who those 100 people were. And if I remember correctly from the Capitol meeting today, I believe the chief said that he was surprised when he looked at the list that a lot of those homes were grouped in the same blocks, and it might facilitate getting that job done if the community knew where those homes were in the newspaper. Thank you.
Steve, the only objection I bring up is the possibility of a security thing. We're putting those names in the paper as kind of telling people that they're out of town and nobody lives in that place. But I yield to the chief. That would be my only objection.
That's a good point, sir. Thank you.
Anyone else? Public comment? Is there a motion to close public comment?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo? Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes,
Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo? Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Thank you. We will re-meet in about 5 minutes.